Welcome back to another Diablo Immortal video. Hope you guys have a great Friday ahead and a great weekend planned. Today I have three topics I want to talk to you about Diablo Immortal, starting with Vanguard. Alright, so when you come on over to Vanguard to go collect your season rewards, you will notice that the Season 3 is not starting for approximately a month's time. I don't know the actual purpose of this. Now, I particularly don't care. I'm not a grinder of Vanguard, but apparently there's a niche community of players that really do love playing Vanguard and are upset that there's such a cooldown. I don't know the reason for this cooldown. I don't know why it's not going to be starting for 23 days or something like that. It's weird to me. I'm not sure what the purpose is of it, but for whatever reason, it's worth noting so that you guys know that. I never thought that something would have that type of a cooldown on it as far as this type of an event goes inside of the game. Let me know if you're someone that's disappointed about that. That's a typical grinder of Vanguard and one of those charm hoarders, call it what you will. All right, the second topic I want to talk about is familiars and these familiar expeditions. Now, yes, of course, you guys already know that I want bounties to be back on here. I think that would be really great. Although I've been doing a lot of Terror Rifts and Terror Bounties, I would like the option for it to be here for those days when you just don't have the time to do stuff. Now, something else though that I think would be a really great quality of life change, and it's hard for me to demonstrate now because I have my pets that are out on their expeditions, but for example, when I came to Shadow Contract today, you'll notice I have 3 pets that are out on that Shadow Contract. You're kind of guessing how many you should be sending out. Now, you know for the Sanctum, you could send 1 pet, or you should only send 1 because it takes 6 hours. Same thing for the Tower. I think it takes 6 hours to do the Tower. I could be wrong, though. It's been a while since I've had to send pets through that. But the Shadow Contracts, I think it's 18 hours if you send 1 familiar. Now, you don't really have a way of knowing if you're going to have additional shadow contracts that can be done, at least not from this screen initially. So for example, this morning I had this plus, there was 1 plus mark and it was lit up in yellow. That meant that I could send a familiar out in an expedition. Now I took a guess and I said, I believe that I only have 1 shadow contract to do. So I sent out 1, 2, 3 familiars for it. So it cut down the time significantly for that shadow contract. But I wasn't 100% sure that I wouldn't have had another contract I could have done. So I sent my 3 out here on the Shadow contract and 1 out to the Sanctum. Tower of Secrets was unavailable. But if I would have done this and the Shadow contracts, I could have done 3 more, I wouldn't have known that ahead of time. What I would like is a very simple quality of life change, is to add the number of plus marks next to or underneath the activity itself, so you know how many of these expeditions could actually have familiars sent on. That way I could know if I want to send 2 familiars on an expedition to cut down the time, or if I just want to send all of them on 1 expedition because nothing else is available, or if there's going to be 4 available and I want to send 4 different familiars on it so they can get it done throughout the day. It would just enable me to plan better and to be more precise with the familiars that I'm sending out on expeditions so that they can get more done and I can min-max my time a little bit more. This would even be more relevant if I had a second tower held down, or if the bounties were back inside of the game, or however they want to expand this. Looking at this map right now, everything is on the first left-hand side of the map, the half of the map. I would anticipate additional familiar expeditions are going to be added over time, and if that happens, I think those extra pluses will just make it much easier for us to plan where we're sending out our familiars, so we can make sure that we log in at the right time to get them moving, and so we can get the maximum rewards for all that. A simple change, but one that I've never talked about before, and what I have is bring back the bounties, man. I would love to see that back inside of the game. Now, the third thing I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I have discussed before, but I've actually changed my stance on it a little bit, so I want to be transparent. So it has to do with the event inside of the game, the Feast of Valenti. Now, I stated before that I don't love how things like Wild Brawl and other in-game events are part of this and not part of, you know, the sidebar here where you can get battle point rewards. It makes it difficult, or it makes it, I shouldn't say difficult, it makes it a little more difficult to progress your battle pass when you don't have the activities over here that will help you get battle pass points to progress your battle pass. So specifically for players that are more casual, they're gonna have a more difficult time getting their battle pass done. With that said, I undervalued some of the things that were inside of here, and I did touch on this yesterday, but I want to go more in depth about it today. Now, I was going through here, and yes, of course, we all love a good green item. We all love some scrap materials. We all love a good telluric pearl. But what I underestimated and what I didn't really shed enough value on are these chests right here, the legendary chests. Choose a legendary chest for 1 gear slot. After opening it, you'll get a random legendary item for that slot. Opening multiple chests for the same slot will increase the quality of the gear in each chest. So, what I didn't do, I didn't share the value of these. These are very good pieces of gear that you're getting. They're also pieces of gear that you can really target your gear slots. Now, I did this yesterday, and if you know, let me go back to that really quickly. It did say, opening multiple chests for the same slot will increase the quality of the gear in each chest. So, I can actually show you over here at the essence transfer. I'm missing one piece from my build. When I get this build completed, I'm actually going to put out a massive video on all of my builds for the Barbarian. But I'm missing this piece right here. What it is Promised Sunrise. I just can't get it. And I've been getting a ton of legendary pieces of gear, but I can't get it. So when I would go and I would do this event, I would always pull a secondary weapon. And I think it was a mistake in me doing this, and I'll explain why. I was hunting for that essence, but it probably wasn't the best idea for me to hunt that essence with these amazing legendary chests, because they're giving you such an exceptional piece of gear, most likely you're going to want to use it. Now, if you can see right here, we have 2,357 combat rating, fortitude, vitality, strength. Over here, 2,355 combat rating, fortitude, willpower, strength, and we got some dash skill stuff. Actually, we get 3 on this one. This is a great piece of gear. Now, both of these, because they're both secondaries, luckily we have stance weapons, I opened a chest, and it gave me something with really a beautiful combat rating here and here. But then I opened more of the chest, still hunting that essence, and I realized, wait a second, I have other gear slots that don't have those pieces of exceptional gear, that I should be opening up a pair of pants, or actually shoulders are okay, or maybe look at this, a regular weapon, your primary weapon. I could, and I should, and I will, with the next one that I unlock, I'm gonna stop hunting for the essence that I need, because odds are I'm not gonna get that one essence. And these pieces of gear are already exceptional. They have great combat rating and great stats on them. I'd much rather get a primary weapon so I could upgrade combat rating and some of my stats on this one, although Wrath of the Berserker is something that I really do like, and I would probably want to replace something like this one right here. So, my thought process here is, when you're opening up those chests, think about what gear slots you have that are suffering in combat rating, or maybe don't have the magic attributes that you're looking for, and that's where you should be focusing what piece of gear you're choosing. Hunting essences with those exceptional chests is probably a waste, because as of right now, if I open up another secondary piece of gear, I'm not gonna need a new secondary weapon in my main slot or in my stance slot. I'm pretty much set and good to go in both of those places. So that's my thought on it. I'd rather build up the gear in other slots. Now, of course, over time, I'm going to be able to get those pieces of gear. I'll farm them and I will get them. But for the time being, it's going to be nice to have that stronger gear to increase my character, to increase my play as of right now inside of the game. Hope that those 3 things are valuable to you. Let me know how you feel about familiars. Do you think the additional pluses would be good? And do you think bounties should come back? Are you upset by Vanguard being gone for a month? And what do you think about the gear? Have you gotten yourself anything exceptional yourself?